Let us, with gratitude and prayers for future, unobstructed sadhana, remember and salute Parabrahma Paramatma, remember and salute the Lord in all forms, remember and salute the Guru Tattva, Guru Parampara, and Swaguru. Also, with respect, reverence, let us salute Shruti Mata in the form of Shruti Smriti Purana Itihasa. Like in any experience or the achievements of the world, let us talk about our own commitment of healthy life. This healthy life cannot be a mere concept, nor it can be a utopian, what do you say, imagination or a dream. It's a beautiful experience. That is not an accidental thing happening. That is not just happens just by itself. One has to work on it as the weakness causing, disease causing, immunity loss causing, whatever the things that are there causes. Consciously, we have to know and remove them, and whatever nurtures and nourishes the body in the form of variety of the intakes, the foods, in the form of removal from the body unwanted, in the form of variety of exercises to be done in an optimum manner, nor less nor more important than all, giving it a required amount of rest. These are the places where one consciously, continuously takes care. He will be able to remain healthy, strong, full immunity for long time. And that joy of being healthy is only the healthy person knows it. A diseased person always suffers and he becomes habitual to that. But the perfect health for long time, it's a self achieved great achievement. Sometime through upasana, okay. Through upasana also, the Lord blesses us only in taking care this way. Then only we are healthy. Through upasana, with all the erraticness, we are not given health. Through upasana, we get from the Lord the common sense, dimag, to maintain the health properly. Then only we will permanently take care of ourselves. Without doing all, if the God's blessing just keeps on making us healthy, then we take the Lord for granted. एक बार शायद भगवान करते होंगे, not बार बार. In the same way, just like the physical health was our goal there, when we come to spirituality, if spiritual achievement also is our goal, Paramatma Anubhuti and Prapti, this also cannot be a utopian dream. It cannot be a imagination. It cannot be a mere concept or a mere intellectual understanding or a feeling in the heart. तो यार अच्छा होता भगवान का दर्शन मिला तो this cannot be like that careless. Much more precisely with precision than physical health. We have to work on our personality everywhere for our spiritual unfoldment also. So, just like at the body level, we discussed about the immunities or the disease causing elements, removal of them, increasing immunity. In the same way, when we have to grow spiritually, if that clicks to us, then we have to really roll up our sleeves and tighten our belts to work out to achieve it. Here, we have to become so conscious with the help of the study of the Shastras and guidance of the Guru about each and every trait of ours at our intellectual level, at our mind level, at our senses level, in our behavioral patterns, each and everything which is not allowing us to fulfill our dream or vision of knowing the self. They have to be so consciously, carefully. We have to recognize them, and with the due process, they have to be eliminated. When that land is plowed, how those weeds, each one of them are consciously, carefully removed in such a manner that no weeds are left out, and also the seeds of the weeds are not formed there, created. Only in that way, cleared fertile land, that the new seeds for the proper crop expected, one can sow and he can work on it and he can reap. In the same way, in our life, spirituality, as long as it is mazak, as long as it is time pass, as long as it is very superficial and very half hearted, our position will be na ghar ka na ghat ka. Because on the name of spirituality, few things of the world we left, there was that enjoyment gone. And here we are not up to the mark in our knowing and performing. Therefore, definitely the result will not come here also. So we cannot afford that attitude for long of being half-hearted or careless or just like that imagining, taking it for granted कि जो होगा ऐसा नहीं होता हो. इसको पूरा consciously we have to work on it. In that, these three things are very essential. First one, weeding out. You know, in our talks, in our thoughts, in our intentions, in our plannings, what's happening at every moment. If we are not aware it that way and eliminate the things that are contradictory to our sadhana, mainly the thought patterns, the sankalpas, the emotions, the attitudes, we have to be very focused on them, and every one of those non-positivities have to be thoroughly removed from the depth of the heart. Like I have Vishaya Asakti. Now the Vishaya Asakti is such a terrible thing, obstruction for Adhyatmikata. We may maintain I am a spiritual seeker, but continuously have Vishaya Asakti. For 10 million lives also we can continue in this pattern without growing spiritually. Therefore, like yesterday, Drushti Sarva Parityajya, as Sri Valmiki ji tells, Kusha, here also, from the deep core of the heart, the asaktis for the Vishayas, somehow or the other we have to remove. अब कैसा करोगे फिर प्रतिपक्ष भावना दोष दृष्टि प्रैक्टिस सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन सेल्फ कंट्रोल taking like vrata anushtana, these are all the processes. But to do the processes we have to be very first convinced and committed that these are the obstructions, they have to be removed. In the same way, so many things, the egos, which is a very very tough thing to recognize that we are egoistic. Then the attachments, एक जाता है तो दूसरा आता है, एक जाता है तो दूसरा आता है. So to the fears, variety of notions, so many of insecurities, and the right place where we have to have the shraddha, having the ashraddha there. These are full of our heart is full of these negativities. Each of them are obstruction to spiritual evolution. So every one of them have to be selected and recognized and ruthlessly removed or rejected. There is no way at all. Just like in Yoga Darshana we were saying, the Panchakleshas, Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Vinesh. As long as these non-positives are there, how can one become the Vritti Nirodha Yogi, Samadhi Abhyasa Yogi? Impossible. Therefore, it was said here, you know, only when Yoganga Anushtana Dashuddhi Shek Jnana Dipti Raviveka Khyate. Same way, we what generally do is go on pampering or continuing so many of deep negativities in us. And we cry, we complain that कुछ नहीं हो रहा प्रोग्रेस स्पिरिचुअलिटी में. अरे जो करना है एग्जैक्टली करो तो होगा ना. Anybody does it, he gets. Nobody, anybody doesn't do, he will not get the result. Again, equally true are the other positive things that are required. Say, let us call them as values, which add to the inner confidences, inner energies, inner disciplines, etc. है ना. ये सब भी हमको जानकर क्या क्या चाहिए वो हमको शो करना है हमारे हृदय में. Neither the negativities, please remember, go by themselves, nor the positivities, let us please remember, come by themselves. होता नहीं है ऐसा. We have to be like in the health case we said. In every case of becoming rich with money or whatever we have, artha kamadi lakshyas of the life, उसको हमें कर कर पाना पड़ता है. ये हमको. So too the second aspect. Then the third one is equally is our Shravana Manana Nididhyasa. We cannot take our Shravana for granted. We have to be so committed with Shraddha to it. This we are doing among so many. But the second one of doing Manana with equal Shraddha is also essential. We can't avoid it. नहीं तो सब्जेक्ट क्लियर नहीं होगा हमको समझ में. When the subject matter is not clear, remember, we never get sufficiently inspired to do due sadhana to reach the goal. Why are we not reaching the goal? Because we are not doing sadhana. Why are we not doing sadhana? Because we are not inspired. Why there is no inspiration? Because there is no clear understanding. Why there is no understanding? Because we have not done the manana. Shravanam is going on in your and our case. Some people even Shravana they don't do. I mean, the very first step itself they are failures. We are at the first step, we are little successful. Yes, regularly we are studying our Upanishads, other Shastras. But how much of the Mananam done on every sentence, every shloka? How much of the Dhyanam done on every one of them? Then only the depth comes, in our understanding, in our meditation. Then only if after long time done, what is the meaning of sublime self? What is the meaning of subtle personality? What is the meaning of gross personality? What is the meaning of outer gross world? And how from the outer gross world to our gross personality, from the subtler personality, then the subtlemost self, we have to reach. These clarities start coming to us. जो बहुत साल तक ऐसा हम मनन चिंतन ध्यान का कोशिश अभ्यास प्रयत्न when we do. Now for that then you have to plan our schedule, plan our day, plan our entire life, then have that heroism to say goodbye to so many things, welcome to so many things, isn't it? If that's not done, then our all opportunities are wasted. No better we are than any of the samsarins or our own earlier life. हाँ, एक गुरु मिले थे, कुछ दिन गए थे, शास्त्र सुना, कोशिश किया साधना करने को, वो बना नहीं. अब मैंने सोचा फिर लेट अस सी लेटर ऑन. नाउ आई एम बैक टू माय ओन बिजनेस, वर्ल्डलीनेस. कितने आराम से इत्मीनान से करोड़ों लोग ये बात को बोलते हैं. We also might have done it so many times in earlier lives. In this life also, we may be in that attitude, even with our all sincerity of regular to the classes. But that won't fetch. You know, just like any achievement of Artha Kamadi require our full application attention, so to the Dharma Moksha also need. That's why they are called Purushartha. Purushartha means Purushahi Arthede Purushartha. Purushartha means all the Paurushatva, all the abilities are used only for that work, exclusively exhausted. That's called Purushartha. So, the main underlying thought in our introduction today is carefully we have to remove all what are not required. Carefully we have to add all that are required. After that, careful we have to be in our Shravana, but don't stop there. Manana, Avagahana, Nididhyasana, Dhyana, in these things also. And at every moment, as ever, the vasanas, the mind, it goes on pulling us away from that. We can't afford to allow them to succeed. Even that also, how to succeed in defeating the mind which tries to defy our sadhana. In a healthy, beautiful manner, by negotiating with the mind, intellect, and senses without troubling them, pinching them. Isn't it? Very interesting, no? I really appreciate our Prime Minister's way of dealing with the non-Hindu religions and getting even their votes also. ये तो हम you can straight away fight with anyone. There are million differences to fight, million reasons also to fight or hate. But it won't fetch no what we need, isn't it? No, it won't give us the result. Fighting never gives solution, no. Hatred never gives any solution. Therefore, how to do? I know one community is selected. He started loving them, sharing all his childhood stories and all. Then seeing that the utter hatred towards him because he's a Hindu is reduced in other people. Then by behavior also, not causing harm of any sort by any means. Only one some constitutional disparities they are being balanced, straightened, which are required for the whole nation's growth. And people understand it. In the same way, our senses, mind, very virulent. They have their own way of life, trained by us only. They behave like that only. We can't have a headlong collision with them, fighting with them. Then how to manage? Correct? के? By managing all of them, getting our work done of all those so far said is a maturity. पर उसके लिए कितना commitment चाहिए, कितना विचार चाहिए, how much of understanding चाहिए, how much of well planning we need to have. This maturity is spirituality. The true spirituality of following the Shastra said Paramatma Sadhana Anubhuti. Other than that, sometimes some puja, some japa, some satsanga. Who told this is Adhyatmikata? It's only time pass. It gives punya. पुण्य क्या क्या है हमें थोड़ा सा पानी दाओ पौधे को पानी डालो दैट आल्सो गिव्स पुण्य उसके कोई दिमाग की ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है ना गिव फूड टू समवन इट गिव्स पुण्य दैट नथिंग ग्रेट दैट पुण्य इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम साधना वी टॉकिंग अबाउट साधना साधना का अर्थ ही जो करने से होता है जिसको होने के लिए करना है everything from the core of the heart eliminating negatives into the core of the heart, inviting the positives with the clear conviction, doing the main part of Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, they are the ones which ensure we are really growing, not otherwise. May we all be blessed by the Lord in this regard. May we also recognize, realize our due efforts to be put, and let us really leave no stone unturned in doing what we are supposed to do. Ramji is there in every of the Bandar, Hanumanji, Sugriva, but they have to work, isn't it? We have to work. In us also, the divinity is there, but I, the individual who is bound, will have to work for his own liberation. It can't be a casual, careless approach. On the other hand, the spiritual approach should be 100 times more serious, sincere, scientific, well thought of planned than any of the worldly things. Systematic होना चाहिए. May we all head towards that most important stage in our life, that we revere, we respect the entire our taken up spiritual path, and there express that respect and reverence by being so true, serious, sincere in taking everything into proper account and do the due. Maybe grow that way. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhya. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarva Lokanam दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. ओं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः. ओं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्. ॐ भव एव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भव शङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम्. ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तन्नमामि. परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः. श्री ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः. श्री वेदव्यास महर्षे नमः. इतरेय महर्षे नमः. आद्यशंकर सद्गुरवे नमः. अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण अस्मिन् क्षणे एव उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोध सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति विश्वशांति कल्याणैकता पूर्ववृद्धिप्राप्त्यर्थं ये अस्माकं सह भक्तसाधकाः अस्मिन् सनातनधर्मसंस्थापनकार्ये कङ्कणबद्धाः तेषां सर्वेषां पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्यादि शक्तिसम्पदा सानुकूल्यता प्राप्ति शत्रुविघ्नबाह्याभ्यन्तर निर्मूलन द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये दिग्विजयार्थं श्री ऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषदः पारायणमाद्यशङ्कर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे. ॐ मनस्तापतमश्शान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभा भाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिम्. अथ श्रीऋग्वेदान्तर्गत ऐतरेयारण्यकान्तर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद् शान्तिमन्त्रः. ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितमाविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य माणिस्तश्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि रनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधाम्. ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. ॐ अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः. Let us do the Parayanam in the sequence. The third Adhyayah. Om अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः. ॐ कोऽयमात्मेति वयमुपास्महे कतरः स आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धानाजिघ्रते येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च अस्वादु च विजानाति यदेतत् हृदयं मनः च एतत् संज्ञानम् आज्ञानं विज्ञानं प्रज्ञानं मेधा दृष्टिः धृतिः मतिः मनीषा ज्योतिः स्मृतिः संकल्पः क्रतुः असुः कामः वशः इति सर्वाणि एव एतानि प्रज्ञानस्य नामधेयानि भवन्ति। एष ब्रह्मा एषः इन्द्रः एष प्रजापतिः एते सर्वे देवाः इमानि च पञ्चमहाभूतानि पृथिवी वायुराकाश आपो ज्योतिंषि एतानि इमानि च क्षुद्रमिश्राणि इव बीजानि इतराणि च अण्डजानि च जारुजानि च स्वेदजानि च उद्भिजानि च अश्वाः गावः पुरुषाः हस्तिनः यत्किञ्च इदं प्राणिजङ्गमं च पतत्रि च यच्च स्थावरं सर्वं तत्प्रज्ञानेत्रं प्रज्ञाने प्रतिष्ठितं प्रज्ञानेत्रो लोकः प्रज्ञाप्रतिष्ठा प्रज्ञानं ब्रह्म स एतेन प्रज्ञेन आत्मना अस्मात् लोकात् उत्क्रम्य अमुष्मिन् स्वर्गे लोके सर्वान् कामान् आप्त्वा अमृतः समभवत् इति ओम। वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो वेवाचि प्रतिष्ठितमाविराविर्म एति वेदस्य माणिस्तश्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीरनेनादीतेनाहो रात्रान्सन्दधामृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्वतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। Having done the Parayanam, now let us come to the continuation of this study. Yesterday we are at the concluding topic where the conclusion is arrived at of all the discussion that is done, and this conclusion is so essential, so crystal clear and very 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 essential. From here only actual chance for the committed sadhana begins, because we are very clearly convincingly understanding, conclusively coming to the understanding. First point is what? Tasmat yatha shastra upadeshah eva atma avabodha vidhi. The vidhi for the avabodha, the experience of the atma, the vidhi, the paddhati for the experience of the atma is yatha shastra upadeshah eva. Only as upadesha given by the shastra, that vidhi alone is the vidhi, the paddhati, the technique for atma avabodha. And na anyaha, there is no other thing to be followed, just like that of the logicians, logics, etc. etc. We saw. And what was discussed in earlier paras as ki the Atman is talked as this or that, this or that, this or that. All of them are the limited conclusive philosophies of all the so-called darshanikas or philosophers, other than the Advaita Vedantins, for whom Ekameva Advayam Brahma is the ultimate goal, and for that the Shastra alone is authority. Each of them define Atma at their own different immatured levels, and they explain it. Some say it is an admixture of the upadhi, some say it is admixture of some chemicals, some say it is not permanent, some say it is here, some say it goes somewhere else. Now, each one talks all of that. Every one of them are refuted by Shankara in his all arguments in other textbooks, and also when he was in the travel at his time. Final conclusion is this. What? Atma avabodha vidhi. Vidhi means the way, the to be done thing. For the Atma avabodha is yatha shastra upadesha eva and anya. Example is agnehe dahyam trunadi. The grass, etc., which are being burnt, burnt by Agni and Agni alone. Anyena kenachit dagdum na shakyam. It cannot be burnt by anything other than the Agni. अग्नि से जलने वाले तृण आदि अग्नि से ही जलते हैं और किसी से नहीं. शास्त्र से पता चलने वाला आत्मा शास्त्र से ही पता चलता है और कोई दूसरा तरीका नहीं. This is what the clarity है. Then 5-6 quotations. We have almost seen all of them. Just browse through them. This is how, with these exercises repeatedly done, at least in the class, we'll be tuning our intellect and mind to the way of the Shastras and the way of the Rishi Muni Guru, in which way they contemplate. तो ऋषि मुनि कैसे विचार करते हैं, शास्त्र में कैसा विचारणा हमको दिया, उसका थोड़ा एक झलक मिलता है when we study in this way Upanishads with Bhashya, which is not everybody's fortune or bite or luck. You know, it's not like listening to some Bhagavad Katha or Puranam or any of the some values. No. ये तो ultimately the liberation giving, Atma Anubhuti giving, sadhanas and prakriyas, all of that are discussed. Something unique, only very rare few get the chance to listen. Among them, few are the ones who are very sincere in applying themselves to get into everything of it. We are not here only to become philosophers, but we are here to become seekers and sincere seekers, to seek the truth, seek the eternal. There should be no compromise or doubt, even an iota, in this. As we said, we are not time pass brand. We are not here to academically study and finish one by one text. We are not here to claim that we attend class. हमको तत्व को अनुभव करके मोक्ष पाना है, यही लक्ष्य. No, quotations are before quotation. Ata eva shastram atmaswarupam bodhaitum pravrittam san. The Shastra, which has pravritta, took initiative, started doing its work. For what? What is the purpose of Shastra? Is atmaswarupam bodhaitum. The only purpose for which the Shastras have come are to do the bodhana of the Atmaswarup. There is no other purpose for the Shastra. When you talk here Shastras, all in general, Upanishads in particular. All in general are also for why Atma Tattva Prabodha, because even in other portions of the Veda Shastra, we are taught the karma, Veda, Varnashrama Anushtana. All of them purify us and then they bring us to the level of Upanishads. Upanishads directly prepare us and direct us toward the absolute truth. So that way, in general, all Shastras are there only for Atma Swarupa Bodhaitum, in them particularly the Upanishads. Therefore, those Shastras which have begun expressing only to communicate Atma Vastu, Atma Prabodha, Atma Swarupam Bodha, to give us the Bodha, the experience of Atma Swarupa, the Shastras which have started functioning, what did they do? Yata, just like in the above example, Amanushatva Pratishedena Iva. Just like by rejecting everything which is not human, that man is made to realize that he is human. So too, by rejecting everything which is not self, we are made to realize the self. That is why to reject everything which is not self, the sentence famously used in the Upanishad is Neti Neti. It is not Atma, because Atma cannot be the object, but all these things are objectively known by me. Therefore, everything known by me objectively is object only, not me, the subject. Therefore, Neti Neti karke, you reject it. Having said this sentence as if looking half, the Shruti Mata became Uparama, quiet. She kept quiet. Like that Shreyabilashi also, by saying you are not anything other than Manusha, he kept quiet. But the fellow asked, you took initiative to teach me Atma. or teach me whether I am Manusha or not. How did you leave it in between? What was said there? Even in this way said, if somebody is not recognizing his own self as Manusha, how can he realize he is Manusha when I tell him you are Manusha? Because when I tell it, it is objective. It is belief. It is because somebody's opinion. Isn't that you are Manusha? It is not somebody's opinion I am Manusha or not. It's my direct personal experience. The facilitation done by the man is he rejected everything other than Manusha. Then it is me who is hearing all that. Practically I have to reject everything other than Manushatva of me and then come to that I am Manusha. Here also Vedanta Shruti. Anything other than Atma, it says not this, not this, and she keeps quiet. She will not tell you you are Atma in this way. Some place it is said Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi and all. But generally Neti Neti. It is we by rejecting that way everything which is Anatma have to recognize our Atma in our experience. This is what it works. This is how it works. So Neti Neti iti Uktva Upararama. She kept quiet. And to make the practice of this Neti Neti, not this, not this, so many words, hundreds of them are employed in all Upanishads. 2, 3 are given here are examples. For example, here Tata Anantaram Abahyam. So Antaram Na. Neti Neti we are applying here. Antaram Neti. Okay, Bhakyam Neti. See, when it is said in the other context of Upanishad, there only, Brahdaranyaka, Esha Atma Anantaram Abhahyam. In that Anantaram Abhahyam, neither it is inside nor outside, is the Neti Neti only is there, no? Na Antaram na Bhahyam. This is Na Antaram na Bhahyam is the example of Neti Neti practice. Main thing is Neti Neti. Not this, not this. Anything which is experienced as this is not the self. Self is not this, not this. Self is not that, not that. This kaho, that kaho, one kaho, two kaho. All of that are not self. Self doesn't come in any of such objectification only. Then how can it come in the quantification or calculation as an object? इसलिए न अंतरम न बाह्यम. Another, ayam atma brahma sarvanubhuhu. No, in this, here positively is here. Soham vala. I am that Brahman which is the experience of anyone at any time. This is equivalent to Tattvasi Mahavakya Upadesh. So everybody, whatever they are experiencing, they through the Upadhi think that they are experiencing the things. But when you go beyond the things which are experienced, when you go beyond the Upadhis with which we are experiencing, to that point, because of which the Upadhis are functioning, we discover it is only one thing. In other words, when I am eating ice cream, I am eating Brahman only. That's the meaning of this. Sarvanubhohu. I only, by giving upadhis in between, say that it is me, my tongue, and eating an ice cream, it is cold. Can the ice cream exist without existence? No. There were pure existence only in the form of ice cream. Can my tongue exist without my own existence? No. There were one existence only. Here as Bhokta tongue, there the Bhogya ice cream. Those who too see the tongue and ice cream, they are samsarins. Those who see the pure existence playing both roles of experiencer and experiencer, he has caught Vedanta. That's the meaning of Ayam Atma Brahma Sarva Anubhohu. Same thing we just now chanted in the third chapter of the Aitareya, which it will come. Prajna Rupasya Namadheyani. All the list is given and said they are all Prajna only, but name given as if they are separate. Like mud only given names. It's a pot, it is Gamla, it is this and that. So from that standpoint, Ayam Atma Brahma Sarvanubhu is a very deep thought, deep sentence. I am that self which is Brahman and which is coming in experience to everyone, every moment. And without compromising with that continuous experience that is happening in us through the upadhis, we are also going through the experience of the unreal Mithya Jagat. Isn't it? This Sarvanubhuvu is very deep, powerful meditation. Like, am I any time without my own experience? Did I ever feel my absence? Did I ever feel I am unconscious, non-aware? No. Therefore, I am Sarva Anubhav means I am that Atma which is हमेशा अनुभव में आता है. वो सब में होता है, इसलिए इसका सर्व कहा. I am Atma Sada Anubhav. I am Atma Brahma. Sada Sarva Anubhav. Sarva means in my own every experience, I experience myself. Sarva means in all beings, what they are experiencing is the self only. So here, this person, the sadhaka, reached the parakashta sthiti of transcending the objective names and forms, subjecting upadhis. He has fully practiced tattvamasi. Then only he can talk in this way. I am Atma Brahma Sarvanubhoho. That सर्वानुभव is so many ways you can understand. सारे जीवों में वो अनुभव होता रहता है निरंतर. सारे जीव उसी के कारण अनुभव कर रहे हैं. जो भी अनुभव होता है उसी का एक्सप्रेशन है. In any of these ways you can talk about this sentence. When it comes in Bradaranyaka, very exhaustively we study. But here, in this context, the meaning of it is that Brahman is that, Atman is that Brahman, which is always in the experience of everyone. But the attention is on the upadhis, because of which the attention is on the outer world of Shabda Sparsha. Therefore, it appears as if the self is forgotten. It's never forgotten. How can you forget your own self? That is the meaning of Amatma Sarvanubhav. Iti Anushasanam. This is Anushasanam. Shruti to Anushasanam. Iti Anushasanam. Finally, Iti Anushasanam is the last sentence. दिस वर्ड है श्रुति का अनुशासन है कि इसको पाओ और इसको पाने के लिए साधना करो और ये पाया तो इट इज सर्टिफाइड दैट यू हैव रीच्ड. अनुशासनम एवं उपहितदुभास्यम एवं ऑल इन तैत्तरीय उपनिषद. तो हमने ऑल दो सेंटेंसेस वी हैव सीन. एतदनुशासनम एवं उपासितव्यम एवं उचैतदुपास्यम. द लास्ट फ्यू वर्ड्स ऑफ the first Shikshavali of the Taittiriya Upanishad. Etavadhi Anushasana. Now comes next one. Ki Tattva-tvamasi. This Tattvamasi Mahavakya also is the explanation of Neti Neti only. What is Neti Neti application Tattvamasi? At the very outset, superficially, Tat and Tvam cannot be Asi or one. Because the Tat Rupi Ishvara is Sarvagna, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapaka. Tvam Rupi Jiva is Alpagna, Alpashaktiman, Alpavyapaka. Then Asi, they are one. How can it be done? It cannot be. But it is said by Shruti, so Shruti cannot go wrong. Then how to reconcile? Neti Neti. What is Neti? That Ishvara is not that Ishvara with Upadhi. Upadhi ka Neti karo. So to Jiva is not that Jiva with Upadhi. उनका भी नेति करो उपाधियों का. When दोनों का नेति नेति कर दी उपाधि, then the निरुपाधिक ईश्वर is Parabrahma, nirupadika Jiva also is Parabrahma. So through Tattvamasi also, the neti neti alone is practiced. Unless from the Jiva and Ishvara, their individual total upadhis are rejected, this Mahavakya, the Tattvamasi, cannot be proved. And Tattvamasi has to be proved because it is Shruti Vakyam. You have no right to reject it. You can't. You have to accept it. You have to realize it as it is said. You are given a freedom. how to achieve it. And the freedom used is Tat and Tvam can never be same when you look at through Upadhis. When the Upadhis are dropped, they have not ceased to exist. Tat and Tvam. When the उपाधि छोड़ दिया ईश्वर गायब हो गए क्या? नहीं, ब्रह्म के रूप में विराजमान है. Because Brahman alone through upadhi is ईश्वर. So to when the upadhi removed, does the jiva disappear? No. Atma rupena is virajman because Atman with limited condition is called jiva. So when both upadhis are dropped, Vyashti and Samashti, these Atman alone is Brahman. और ऐसे करेक्ट. सो तत्वमसी को समझना है तो नेति नेति करना है. Then only the Tattvamasi is experienced as yes, Aham Brahmas. Next one, the last one, very powerful it was. Yatra tu asya, of this person sadhaka, sarvam atma eva abhut. Through his contemplation, he realized his own atma. Then he found the same atma is everywhere. Therefore, sarvam atma eva abhut. सब आत्मा हो गया उसको. हो गया मतलब ऑलरेडी था, जान लिया. Now the interesting sentence. कि तत् केन कम पश्येत. At that stage, kena kam pashyet, and the other sentence is kema kam vijaniyat ityadi. So at that level of discovering of one without second self, na yatra tu sarvam atma eva abhut, where he recognized the atma of everything to be his own atma, which is one without second. Now the next sentence is important. Listen carefully. Kena kam pashyet. At that level, by whom what is seen. Like at this level of I am a jiva, the world is other than me. I, the one, the seer, chakshusha, with my eyes, vruksham pashyami. So aham pashyami. Kam pashyami vruksham. Kena chakshusha. So the vruksham is the object of knowledge. Chakshu is the instrument of knowledge. I am the knower of the knowledge of the object through the instrument. These are possible where there's the duality is reality. Where I am the seer, the world is seen, the senses are instruments. But when one discovers the substratum of the Drushya Jagat also, the Upadhis also, the self also, to be one without second, this delusion is gone away. When the delusion goes away, then who becomes the seer? What are the instruments with which he sees? What is the seen? कोई नहीं रहता. That's the meaning of केन कम पश्येत. कौन किसके द्वारा क्या जान रहा है. केनम इंस्ट्रूमेंटेन केन उपाधिना कम विषयम पश्येत. केन कम विजानीयात. विजानीयात बुद्धि. Where is he? Who is the one who using the buddhi to recognize something? ये तो है ही नहीं है. The instrument is dissolved, the seen thing is dissolved, the seer is dissolved because एक आत्मा is realized. That's why यत्र तो सर्वम आत्मा एव अभूत. Kena Kampashed, Kena Kamija. That's why we yesterday said in that one Atma, the ignorance ke karana, the projected are these trio of Drashta, Darshana, Drishyam, the entire thing is samsara. It's all sankalp, it's all projection only. And it is seen as so real. Taken as so real. And everything which you take as real is proving every moment to be unreal. That is going on changing. It is not the same every time. But we don't take this way into consideration in contemplation. इसलिए the upadhi krita dvaita appears to be real for us. The nirupadhika Brahma always remains far away. So the quotation is yatra tu sarvam atma eva bhut tat kena kampashyat kena kamijaniyat. कौन किसको जानेगा, किसके द्वारा जानेगा. सो जानने वस्तु भी मैं हूँ, इंस्ट्रूमेंट भी मैं हूँ, देखने वाला भी मैं हूँ. अहमेव द्रष्टा दर्शनम दृश्यम. Be attentive now as we listen it to every day. That delusion is reducing because of understanding and acceptance. that on one pure conscious self alone, drashta, darshana, drishya, kalpana or sankalpa is done, as told by Valmiki ji yesterday. Sankalpa tantu ke karana, all the bhavas are there. When the tantu chedanam is done, we can't even know where they have gone away. Becoming regular in these type of listenings, becoming stronger in the faith of the presence of one common substratum, intensifying our desire to experience him. True spiritual sadhanas, outer and inner and meditational, when we do and really experience it, then what is said by all Rishimuni and Shastras, loudly, shoutingly, that other than this Brahman, nothing is there apart and independent, that will be experienced by us. देखो हमारा लक्ष्य वो होना चाहिए बस. Now he says, iti evam adyapi, iti evam adyapi. Like that, so many quotations are there. How the Shastra Shruti Mata indicates the truth to us. In that indication, some of them are of Nishedhatmaka, Neti Neti, some are of the Vidheyatmaka. But in both cases, it is you and I following that Shruti technique have to reject the Anatma, experience the Atma subjectively. This is what is the conclusion here. Now, if this way, through the study of Upanishads, if one is not recognizing the self, then the drama which is going on happening now of the samsara of karma phala, to have the bhoga of it, aneka aneka janma marana, it goes on going. Like, if I don't understand and accept that any number of cinemas or any thousands of episodes of serials are nothing but stupidity, then they will be kept on produced and we go on seeing them. The fellow understands in one or two episodes only, it's nothing but projection, imagination, other than spoiling the mind, he has nothing to convey. He will never see the third episode. Thank God, in my life, I've never seen any of the serials, especially of late. 1990 से लेकर के अब तक कोई भी एक बार भी नहीं देख बैठा ही नहीं मैं. I don't know how people hook onto that, glue onto that. खींचा करके सेम आई डोंट नो. आई कांट हैव फॉर एक सेकंड भी नहीं बैठ सकता भाई बाबा. uh Better to just watch some sports, some news, maybe some humor or intelligence or some message conveying movie. It's okay. Kami, but not this danger. It continues if we don't realize this self. ये सारे बातें बताकर भगवान यहाँ सेकंड अध्याय का प्रथम मंत्र का उपक्रमण करेंगे. Now let us study that. Now, see sentence I am reading and explaining. Yavat ayam evam yathoktam imam atmanam navetti. Yavat means as long as. Ayam means you and I, the seekers. Evam, in this way. Yathoktam, as told by the Shastras. Atmanam, one's own self. Navetti, if he doesn't experience, as long as. Tavat, till the time Ayam. This again same individual. Bhashya, external. Anitya drushti, lakshanam, upadhim. Bhashya drushti, anitya drushti are the natural lakshana of the Dhendriya Manobuddhyadi Upadhi, holding on to those Upadhim, Atmatvena Upetya, taking those Upadhis as the self. What it does? Avidyaya, because he is now kept away the self only. अविद्या में है वो अविद्या upadi dharman, all the upadis dharmas, atmana manyamanaha, considering them to be his own, through various of the karmas, Brahma Adi, from the Brahma Deva, Stamba Paryanteshu, up to a blade of grass or a one unicellular organism, Deva Tiryang Narasthaneshu, into the worlds of Devatas, Tiryak, the animals, Nara, human yonihi, Punaha Punaha, Avartamanaha. Again and again he goes on revolving, rotating them in them. How? Avidya Kama Karma Vasatu. Under the influence of Avidya, creating the Upaditadatma, making the feeling of limitation and the desire to become infinite, that desire is called kama. Then that leads to the karma. In this avidya kama karma chakkar samsarati, he will continue to be in the samsara only. See how direct, simple and complete is this subject. As long as in this way, through the neti neti, etc., my own nirupadika pratyaksha atma anubhava, if I don't get, if I don't do that one, then what I will do? Those upadis which are bahya drushti and which have got anitya drushti, which are these dharmas, with those upadis of buddhi, mana, indriyas, deha, I identify and their lakshanas I take on myself, and at the same time the atma avidya, avidya of the self, means vidya is nahi hai, avidya, it which alone caused at one side the identification upadhis, the same avidya becomes cause for the feeling of sense of limitation, because upadhis are limited, they are not infinite. Because of sense of limitation, the desire to become infinite comes. That's called the desire. That's why behind every desire there is the sense of limitation. When the unlimited Brahman is recognized, or when the Brahman is recognized, there is no desire because Brahman is infinite. In the infinite, you need not, cannot have the desire. कामना अल्पता में होती है ना, अनंत में काम क्यों होएगा? किस बात की कमी है कि कामना करोगे? So, not knowing the self, avidya, leading to the upaditadatmya, leading to the creation of the kamanas, and because of the kamana doing the karma, then as a karma phala, we from deva tiryang manushadi yoni, from brahmadeva to the stavara sharira, deva tiryang manushadi loka, brahma to the stavara deha, we are going on getting born and dying. All this is called samsara. No, this knowledge a foreigner cannot never grasp in his entire life. ओनली इंडियन सनातन धर्मीन्स, उनको हर एक चीज में जो फिलॉसफी घुसाया जाता है, ओनली दे कैन. इंडियंस आर स्पेशल. देन जस्ट सुना भाई तुम्हारे ऑटो को छोड़ा एक्सीडेंट हो गया, हाँ स्वामी जी कौन सी चीज परमानेंट है इस दुनिया में? जस्ट लाइक दैट फिलॉसफी कम्स इन इंडियंस. है कि नहीं? मैंने सुना वो मर गया, जो जन्म लिया उसको मरना ही ना. But they are superficial, not into the depth. But the philosophy is in the personality of every Indian. To such one, when he tunes to Upanishads, to him alone, this most sublime thing can be conveyed, in which the other two possibilities are shown. One is by following the Upanishadic sentences, doing neti neti, recognizing ourselves and getting liberated from all limitations, bondages, samsara. Other one, if this is not done, how? Because of an avidya, upaditadatmya, upadhi is being limited. I feel the limitation within me and I want to become infinite. For that, I have some kamana and I do karma. And every karma gives the phala. To have the bhoga of that phala, that loka, that yoni or deha have to go. The lokas can be the human, the Brahma loka, any of the Manushya loka ityadi. Devas, Shariras can be Brahmadeva, ब्रह्मदेव शरीर, देवता शरीर, मनुष्य देह, कृमि कीट, कोई भी देह मिल सकता है मुझे, किसी भी लोक में मैं जा सकता हूँ किया हुआ कर्म का फल पाने के लिए. ऑल ऑफ दैट इज बॉन्डेज. ऑल दिस थ्वार्टेड व्हेन थ्रू नेति नेति I recognize my own essential infinite self. आप आपका ऑप्शन है. See the power of this sentence, isn't it? Yavad ayam evam yatoktam imam atmanam na veti tavad ayam bahya anitya drushti lakshanam upadhim atmatvena upetya avidyaya upadi dharman atmanah manyamanaha brahmadi stamba paryanteshu devateryang narasthaneshu puna puna avartamanaha avidya kama karma vashat samsarati. Here, one sentence only we missed to explain. Upadhi dharma he takes as his own dharmas. Like the Sharira dharma is Jara Mrityu Roga. Annamaya, Pranamaya dharma is hunger, thirst. He thinks it is his own. The Mano dharma is Shoka Moha. So to remove the Shoka Moha, to remove the Ashana Pipasa, to protect from Jara Mrityu, he goes on doing some karma. That karma takes him into different yonis. In the pure self, it has not got the Upadhi dharmas. Its dharma is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That's all. It being Satyam, there is no death in it. It being Jnanam, there is no deception in it. It being Anantam and Anandam, there is no misery in it. So the Satya is infinite, Jnanam is infinite, Ananda is infinite. When it is infinite, there is no desire. When there is no desire, there is no bondage. Think with cool mind. I really loved this conclusion. The crux of entire Vedanta. If you don't recognize essential self, then identify the upadhi as a jiva, feeling the limitations. To come out of the limitation, some or other desires entertained, all the actions we do to fulfill the desire, which yields us janma, shariras, in different yonis, in different lokas, and obviously giving different bhoga. जात्यायर भोगा of the yoga as we studied there, उसको इधर जोड़ दो तो टॉपिक कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. Now make it more precise, more subjective. Okay, now I am here. If I, by studying Upanishads, do neti and discover my own self, real, I am mukta now. If I don't do this practice, then what I do? These all upadhis are there. I identify with them. They are limited, but I want infinite experience of being infinite. Then what I do? Go on creating the desires through these upadhis. And to fulfill the desire, lot of karma I do. And all karma gives karma phala. For the phala bhoga, I have to be thrown or born in one or the other sharira. Who is going through that? That pseudo ego jiva who has not realized the essential self. Self remains as it is, in and through all that. Vichitra baat wahi hai. Isn't it? The wave goes and lashes to the ocean shore and gets perished. Not the water. Water always there. In this way, okay. Sa eva samsaran. He alone, while going through the samsara in one particular body, upatta deha indriya sanghatam tijati. For the entry into the new set of the things, this particular upatta deha indriya sanghata, this assembly of body and senses which was required in this life, tejati, he gives up. Tyaktva, having given up what he does, tyaktva anyam upadatte, he will take up another body conducive for the exhaustion of next set of desires or vasanas or karma phalas. So annamupadatte. Now next one. Punah punaha. Again and again. Evam eva. In this way. Nadi srotovat. Like the continuous flow of the waters of the river. Janma marana prabandha. Bound very pakka into this janma and marana. Avichedena, unbroken chain of Janma Marana, he will be shackled or chained. Vartamanaha, he is going on like that. Kavihi avasthavihi vartate. He goes on going through variety of काभिः अवस्थाभिः वर्तते इति एतमर्थं दर्शयन्ति आह श्रुतिः. So in this way, when he is going through kavihi avasthabhir vartate, what are the avasthas he goes through? Mainly the avastha is the janma. He goes through that in the second chapter, the Shruti Mata is telling. In this way, he connects the entire earlier first adhyayam and all is in between Bhashyam and the second chapter he connects. And why the Shruti Mata in the next topic? This Jiva who in this way relentlessly like Nadi Srotovat going on taking birth and upadhis and doing whatever to be done through them and leaving it again another one taking upadhi. While this is happening in a particular place, how he takes janma, the three janmas are talked about him. Pratama, Dvitiya, Tritiya janma. Why all this Shruti has done? Very, very crucial point. With this, tomorrow we'll begin our study. And the only reason for which the next second khanda, in which the three janmas of the jiva are explained, are to tell us or to make us understand the need of vairagya. वैराग्य पाने के लिए हमको ये तीन जन्म बता रहे. जस्ट लाइक वी हैव सीन शिवापराध क्षमापणा, गर्भावस्था, बाल्यावस्था, Yuvavastha, Vruddhavastha, they were shown to us and how much pathetic we were in all that. All of that can be avoided Shankaram Smarami. Isn't it? By Shankara Smarana, Shankara Anugraha, by the doing Tattva Dhyana, knowing the self, there is no birth of individuality, there is no chance at all to do any aparadha. That's the text. Same is here. So the next chapter should make us not the story aspect again. Realize that this is how, if I don't realize myself, I'll go through the chakra of birth and death in everybody. I don't want it. I want to be that infinite blissful self. That I don't want it is called Vairagya. For the sake of creating Vairagya in us, so that our craving for the worldliness goes away, then what is said in the Upanishads, the Neti Neti, for realizing the self and get liberated, we may get interested in it, enchanted in it, we pursue it, we realize the self and get liberated. For that sake, Shruti Mata is now talking in the second chapter of this Jiva who has not realized the self is variety of avastha. अयम अवस्था तो अयम अवस्था अयम अवस्था शुरू में आया ना वही है. So the three janmas of you and I, if you don't realize the self, are talked. And each of the janmas is filled with so much of dukkha and pain. That's not projected or presented in that way. Here तो decently is present करेंगे. But with the help of other Puranas or Smriti Grantha, we can understand how pathetic, miserable are these avasthas, these janmas, etc. Continuously. Okay. Now, this para I suggest you to study at least 3 or 4 times and feel subjectively. If I don't realize myself through Neti Neti, I identify the upadhis. I take the upadhi lakshanas of mine, and upadhis are limited. That limitation I feel, which never is tolerable or satisfactory. Therefore, to come out of the liberation or limitation, I just start projecting all the desires. When the desire come, karma, you can never be without doing karma. When the karma is done, the infinite totality will supply the karma phala inevitable. And that karma phala bhog ke liye, I will have to leave this body, take another body, this loka or the other loka, entire samsara. Narayana, Narayana. So now for the vairagya hetu, this is being said. Let us see tomorrow. 1 मिनट में लेता हूँ. यावद अयम एवं यथोक्तम इमम आत्मानं न वेत्ति तावद अयम बाह्य अनित्य दृष्टि लक्षणम उपाधिम आत्मत्वेन उपेत्य अविद्यया उपाधि धर्मान आत्मनः मन्यमानः ब्रह्मादि स्तंभ पर्यंतेषु देवतिर्यं नर स्थानेषु पुनः पुनः आवर्तमानः अविद्या काम कर्म वशात् संसरति सह एवं संसरन् उपात देहेन्द्रिय संघातम न त्यजति त्यक्त्वा अन्यमुपादत्ते पुनः पुनः एवमेव नदी स्रोतोवतो जन्म मरण प्रबंध अधि अविच्छेदेन वर्तमानः काभिः अवस्थाभिः वर्तते इति एतमर्थं दर्शयन्ति आह श्रुतिः वैराग्य हेतोः। ये पूरा भाष्य का पढ़ना। Now the first mantra tomorrow we'll study. पुरुषेह वा अयमादितो गर्भो भवति यदेतद्रेतः तदेतत् सर्वेभ्योऽङ्गेभ्यः तेजः सम्भूतम् आत्मनि इव आत्मानं बिभर्ति तद्यदा स्त्रियां सिञ्चति अत एनज्जनयति तदस्य प्रथमं जन्म। Tomorrow we'll study. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnavadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om श्री गुरुभ्यो परम ऋषिभ्यो परब्रह्मणे श्रुति मात्रे तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु। चलो, we tried. Join in 2 minutes for yoga darshanam.